Dear Mum and Dad, sorry for not being in touch recently. I know you guys only live just up on the hill, so there's really no excuse for me not to pop in once in a while. Just I've been super busy lately, so I'm writing you this letter to make up for it. How have you guys been? I thought I saw Dad down at the market the other week buying gardening supplies. I could have called out, but I was a bit busy. Life has been super full and weird the last few months. That business idea of mine as an all-in-one, whatever you need, went from one extreme to the other. First it was pest control, with me spraying weevils in basements, to slaying cattle punching trolls, which incidentally tastes really good in pasties, sort of like gamey pork. I'll ask Charlotte for the recipe. After that I somehow ended up solving murders. Yeah, that one in the paper a few weeks ago on the train, that was me. I attached a copy for you to read. It's got all the details. But after all that, perhaps the weirdest of all the weird things happened yesterday morning, when my red-haired landlady Charlotte called me down from my room.
Agnetha! Agnetha! There's someone here for you.
Who is it?
Says he's a friend. Harry something. What was it?
Harry Dorian.
Agnetha Deveaux. Elsie Danging.
The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux. Episode 6. The Familiar Stranger.
Good morning.
Morning.
Are you okay, Charlotte?
Not really, no. Agnetha is upstairs if you need her. Some old friend of hers is visiting. Harry Dorian. Have you ever heard of him? Blonde elf, tan skin, facial tattoos like Agnetha's?
I can't say I have. Is anything else the matter?
You know, just once I'd like one person to step through the door to be a genuine customer. Someone who's not here for Agnetha or for trouble. Things are getting a bit too quiet here, if I'm honest. I'm not taking as much money as a pub should be, on a busy street, on a busy square. And these bills are just piling up.
Good Lord, had I known I could have helped.
Turmell, could I borrow some cash?
Of course, how much?
£100, I'm sorry, just for the next week.
Not a problem at all, honestly. Here you go. No rush with paying it back.
Thank you so much. I'll pop downtown soon and pay it. Normally I wouldn't ask, but Agnetha doesn't pay rent until next week. And maybe it's the time of the year, but even regulars aren't even coming in.
How much does Agnetha pay for rent?
£50 fortnightly.
I wonder how she affords that. Her own business as a... whatever she does. She's a detective this week. It's not exactly flourishing. She charges £20 an hour. How she's paying for that when she...
I mean, of course that's where they get the coffee beans from. It's in the name.
Right. Mate, Turmell, hey, this is Harry. Harry, Turmell.
Hello there, Turmell.
Turmell, best friend of mine, good friend of ours. Harry here I knew before I came to Varadune.
Ah, yes. Partners in crime we were.
Literally, as luck would have it.
How did you two meet?
Back when I was working odd jobs, I was employed by some disreputable businessman. He put us two together for some heist jobs.
Oh, heists.
Indeed. Heists, burglaries, or criminal on criminal robberies, you understand. Not robbing from the poor, but people that deserved it. Big jobs too. The one Agnetha and I worked on was a gold robbery. Close to £1 million in bars, carried across 3 coaches disguised as bank carriages. We used some street cleaners to block them off on the roads. Nothing too big or obvious to give away what they were doing. Just long enough for Agnetha and I on the rooftop to leap down, hijack the carriages from the drivers and ride it away.
Sounds exhilarating.
Oh, immensely. But Agnetha isn't being truthful. She and I met a few years before that.
Don't mention the war.
But how else will we explain where we got these sweet face tattoos from?
Just say it was a night out with the lads.
Yes, a tattoo of my forehead that says fight for glory and dwarven. Did Agnetha ever tell you two how they did those tattoos on her eyelids?
What are you doing here in Varadune anyway?
Oh, just passing through, traveling to Morn. I've been here a few days waiting for my connection. I shipped to Josephinia. As I was waiting at the hotel I was staying at, I saw a flyer with your name printed across the top. Just this morning, so I popped over and here you are.
So you ain't staying here long then?
Oh no, just until tomorrow morning. But I thought, why not see an old friend while I'm here, along with the rest of the sites. Speaking of which, I must dash. Places to go, people to see. Turmell, Charlotte, lovely to meet you both. Agnetha, I shall see you tonight. Ciao.
Sure thing. Late.
Oh, yeah, don't forget. Dinner tomorrow night at Cortesero's restaurant.
Noted, I'll be there. As Harry was leaving, some other man entered the tavern.
Good morning. What can I get for you?
Good morning. I'm looking for Agnetha Deveaux.
Of course.
Right here. And yeah, pleased to meet you.
Is there somewhere I can discuss an important matter with you?
Tea rooms, right this way.
Another one for her. Didn't even ask for a drink.
Could I get a tea, please?
Coming right up.
Thank you. I come to you this morning, Miss Deveaux, with a matter of great importance. My name is Lord Enrod James of the Upper Parliament. Of the last few nights, there have been a number of burglaries of members of the Parliament, myself among them.
Good grief. Really?
Normally, if one were burgled, one would go straight to the city guard. However, I am apprehensive to do so here in the city. It was only last week I was reading about your exploits in the newspaper, solving the murder on the Orangard Express. And naturally, I thought you might be the kind of person who would do the job right, and quickly too, without all that procedure, time wasting on unnecessary questioning.
So, you're here. Spill the beans.
Well, the first burglary was 2 nights ago at the government apartments of Lord Fry. These apartments were on the 4th floor, which is locked off and heavily guarded from within the building, and only has a small balcony around the outside, which is where the burglar entered from. A balcony seemingly inaccessible except from the apartment itself. The window was shattered, curious as the door was unlocked. It's estimated that £4,000 worth was stolen, in the form of ornaments and cash.
And the other burglaries?
Well, the following night, a series of burglaries, much the same, only this time a total of 7 apartments burgled. Again, seemingly inaccessible balconies, the windows this time unbroken, as most of the doors were again unlocked, apart from one, which was picked. Lady Wood, Lord Bjork, Lord Donner, Lord Gordon, Lady Quinn, Lord Ashton, and myself. £23,000 worth stolen, and left without a trace. Which is why I'm here to talk to you, to offer you £1,000 to investigate these burglaries.
Done. Let's get to it then.
What? Just like that?
It's £1,000, mate. I ain't turning that offer down. Mr. James, can you take us to the apartments to investigate? So Turmell and I joined him in this fancy government stagecoach to the council building by the river, up to the 4th floor to find the private apartment, lavishly decorated, brilliant views of the river and hills, but obviously disturbed with the drawers ransacked and windows smashed. I took a quick look around and started to get an idea of what was going on.
James, I see you got the elf detective.
That I did.
Interesting way you're holding yourself there, girl. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you had military experience.
Yep, that I do.
Yes, glorious. War, fighting, honor, victory. Yes, I'm sure you did your country proud.
Oh, shut up. So was this the first apartment?
It was, belonging to Lord Fry, who you just shut out.
I'll have to ask you to leave the room so I can get my investigating groove on.
Quite right.
Anything leaping out at you?
There are 2 ways the burglar could have got up here. First, the ground, which means scaling the 4-metre brick wall out there, which is heavily guarded, sprinting about 40 metres, scaling a 2-metre wall, darting across the courtyard below, then scaling 4 floors up to be here, avoiding being spotted by the guards. Second, the roof, which means getting into the building, which is heavily guarded and patrolled, finding the roof access and scaling 1 floor down. Believe it or not, option 1 is actually the easiest.
What makes you say that?
Because the spirit trail actually shows they climbed up over the balcony from below. They must have had a very good grip to do that climb.
Oh, the spirit magic trail. Then you must be able to use that to figure out who exactly did these robberies.
Should help with identifying them, for sure. Everyone's spirit is different. I'll just need to match the trail here to the suspect, but it's far too faint to follow. Back to regular detective work here.
Don't you want to check the other apartments for clues? Maybe the burglar slipped up, left something behind.
Security did a sweep earlier for physical clues and found nothing. The other 7 rooms are just going to tell me the exact same thing this one did. I'm off to see a guy I know down by the docks, Tom. He's an encyclopedia of criminal activity in Barradoon and beyond. I should be able to get a list of people from him, potential suspects, by describing the characteristics of the crime scene to him. Someone who scaled a 4-story building and got back down again with a swag bag without being caught 2 nights in a row? Can't be too many men who can do that.
No, they can't.
Found anything yet?
Nothing, sir. We searched the perimeter, but there's no further signs of entry.
You can do better. Last thing we need is to be shown up by some freelance investigator. We'll lose our jobs over this, you know.
Off I went to see Tom by the docks, who might have had some idea about who might be involved. He gave me a list of 4 suspects, while I worried there might be another one out there.
I heard banging a few minutes ago. I hope that wasn't you nailing those papers to the piano.
No, I just tripped over the stool.
Weren't you offered a grand to work earlier? Shouldn't you be out there working?
I am working.
You're playing the piano.
Multitasking, innit?
Another bill. I work all night and I work all day paying all these bills.
Ain't that sad?
And then there's more bills and not even enough money for myself. I'm a slave to this place.
You alright?
But no, doesn't matter that Charlotte spent 16 years training to be a dancer. Doesn't matter her brothers were supposed to run this pub. They just shoot through and leave me here to deal with it. Forget that pub Dad bequeathed me. Let's buy this new one in the country.
I can help if you need it.
Thank you. But you have more important things to be dealing with. You have a burglar to catch for one thing.
Right you are. Money, money, money.
Go. Now.
Any luck?
After talking to Tom, I have 4 suspects whose methods match or bear a resemblance to those burglaries. Aaron Johnson, recently released from prison, a history of clandestine smash and grabs. However, he only did over shops. Raymond Tolson, currently in prison, robbed a hotel last year after sneaking in as one of the staff, which is something I consider for our robber. Stephen Daniels, a mage, good at levitation spells, but he's presently in the medical asylum. Samantha Wood, skilled at free running and pickpocketing, but she now has hooks for hands, so none of them really. Back to square one.
There might be other suspects worth considering.
Look, I spoke to Tom and I described every part of those crime scenes to him.
But there might have been someone else who might be gifted with burglaries or heists, scaling walls. Someone who's been in Varadune for as long as these burglaries have taken place.
But with Daniel, see...
Agnetha.
Okay. Yes, yeah, it's Harry. Of course it's Harry. It's obvious, isn't it? He shows up, the burglaries start, and he's here one more night, so he's going to rip someone else off. Fine, I get you. I'll go find him now. We were meant to meet at the hotel for drinks, but I soon found him back at the scene of the crime, ransacking another apartment.
Underwear, sock, another sock. Aha, a purse. Excelente.
Hello, Harry.
Hey, Agnetha. Good to see you again. Sorry I'm a little late. I thought we were meeting at that tavern, not here. Ah, well, here we are. Fancy a drink?
Nah, not now.
1412. Interesting near. These politicians are like, how you say, well minted, ain't they, bruv? And this language certainly does have its charms.
Harry, I'm here to stop you.
Ah, but of course. Miss Deveaux, the crime fighter now. Quite right, too. I guess I am kind of breaking the law here. Breaking into this apartment, stealing all this stuff. But just how are you going to do that,
I notified security as I was coming up. They're outside every door and window. You can't escape. They know what you look like. They're just waiting on my word to come in. The game is up.
Oh, so it is then. Damn, I was having fun.
It looks it, but you were breaking the law.
Which is exactly why it was so fun.
Yeah, true, but you can't really be doing that.
They're just politicians, no harm really. I'm not stealing from the needy and the poor, just the needy and the rich. What's up with you?
What do you mean, what's up with me?
This, you, here, on the other side of the law. Stopping me here after all that stuff you did? You stole £100,000 from Peacock. What's a couple of £1,000 from the filthy rich?
That vase you're holding is worth $20,000.
Effing hell, really? I'll just, put that down.
You are incredibly fortunate that didn't break.
Not fortunate enough to not get caught. I'm usually so good at not getting caught. But if anyone was going to catch me, it would be you.
Flattery will get you nowhere. To be fair, Harry, it wasn't hard. The burglaries were nearly identical to the jobs you used to pull in Wichia and Releo. Heck, these happened the same day you were here. You gave yourself away the second you visited me this morning.
Whoops. My hubris. At it again. Oh, this is just rubbish.
What is?
You're catching me. My ship leaves tomorrow morning. My chance at escape, starting new life in Morn, and 7 hours before I'm due to leave, this happens.
Well, it's your fault this happened. You did the crime leading to your arrest.
I know. That's why I'm so annoyed. You sure you can't let me go?
Every window, Harry. Every door.
But why is this different? You said this morning you detest these people. Their selfishness, their wealth, sitting on their bottoms doing nothing. They're criminals as much as Peacock is.
Well, I ain't in the right mindset to give you some deep, profound speech about nature and the futilities of life, so I'll just say this. There might be a little separating these ministers and lords from crime lords like Peacock, despite one thing. These guys have the law on their side. When you're playing with those who flit around the outskirts of society, you do what you can to come out on top. Try it with these guys and they draft an amendment and throw you behind bars before you know what hit you. In fact, that's another thing. You go now, you get 5 years in prison. Try it with the other guys, you get dumped in a canal.
I suppose I'd get fed in prison.
Porridge. Lots of porridge.
Well, it beats the canal. And locked away, in a cage. Safe.
What are you running from, Harry?
Nothing at the moment. I'm just sitting on this puff.
Well?
You can't outrun everything, Agnetha. No matter how far you get, it's coming. I suppose this is it. Do it.
He's in here.
You'll find the goods under my bed at the tavern I was staying at, room 6.
Well done, Miss Deveaux. You have completed this with the efficiency I expected you to have. Here is your payment, in full.
Thanks.
Are you in here? I was just checking to see if you were still breathing. You've been up here all day. Do you fancy a cup of tea before we leave for the restaurant?
Nah, I'm fine.
Are you okay?
Last night I sent my oldest friend to jail. Maybe jail, maybe the gallows, I don't know. I feel terrible if I'm completely honest.
Well, they got rid of hangings in the stocks quite a few years ago now.
You know what I mean. I betrayed him. I betrayed myself, all over a little bit of money. Like I said, he was my oldest friend. We met before the war. He was the only other elf there in a sea of human faces, all ready to fight and defend our country. We were split up. I was sent to the front line, but we met up again afterwards, a few years later. Mercenary work, bounty hunting, treasure hunting, then robberies and heists. We'd been together for a short while, do some work, and get split up, and continue it all a few years later. But now here I am, stabbing him in the back when I should have been watching it.
You both went your separate ways. He changed. People do that, especially after 3 years. They take their own path and sometimes your oldest friends leave you behind.
But he didn't change. I did. He was exactly the same as when I met him at 18. I'm here with you and Turmell, and it felt great. But with Harry, it was gone. Everything I felt for him all these years vanished. It was nice to see him yesterday morning, but then later on, the second I took a look around that burgled apartment, I knew he was behind it. I wanted to stall the investigation, to give Harry a chance to escape, but Turmell figured it out as well. Seems my perceptiveness and all that is starting to rub off on him. Okay, no, he's smart, he figured it out himself. And he poked and prodded me, trying to make me see what I could already see. And then I went out, on my own volition, alerted the guards and got Harry arrested. And I feel terrible. Not for betraying him, but because I don't feel terrible about it at all. I wanted him to bugger off, if I'm honest.
Oh, so I wasn't the only one thinking that about him.
How very dare you! Nah, it's all good. I realise now who my real friends are. And it's you guys. Charlotte, I've been horrible to you, really. And I heard you're having money troubles. I heard you and Turmell talking. It's the elf ears. I hear a lot of things. And I know you're barely a payment away from losing this place. I want to help.
How so?
I've got about £100,000 in my trunk over there.
£100,000? Where did you get that from?
The wheres and hows ain't important. It's what I'm going to do with it that matters. I want to help you pay your bills, get your goods in, tidy and fix the place up and get this tavern operating again. I've been living in here for 2 years and I'm obviously not planning on moving out anytime soon, so I better start paying my way. I want to buy this room. And, hugging. Yeah.
I love you, Agnetha. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I am both fantastic and immensely humble. Shh. After I finish this letter, I'm off with Charlotte to meet Turmell and his partner Elsie at some restaurant in town. I can't remember if I ever told you about Elsie, but she's a dwarf, about 4.5 feet tall, pale blue skin like the clouds on a summer day, and long auburn hair. She's an absolute sweetheart. Nice walls and chairs.
Charlotte, Agnetha, hey, you two made it.
Hi, Elsie. These flowers are for you, from the both of us.
Thank you. They're beautiful. And how are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm great, thanks. Come on, the table's just over there.
Hello there.
All right, mate.
Charlotte, you look well.
I am well for the first time in ages. Agnetha came to my rescue.
Really? How so?
Money, helping with the tavern, getting it back in business.
That's wonderful.
It is. It's just like all the bills gone, after months of them just looming over me like a cloud of paper. That's why we're a little late. We were just down at the housing office paying them all off.
Did you come into money, Agnetha?
Aye, won a high-stakes pin the tail on the donkey game.
We didn't miss anything, did we?
No, you're right on time.
We only got here a little while ago. Have you ever been here before? They do some of the best, if not the best, pasta dishes in the whole city. I can't think of any places back in Josephinia that made pasta this good. But, putting that aside for now, there was something we wanted to tell you both. I mean, my immediate family, most of them know, and some of my closest friends, but we just...
May I interest you in the wine list?
Very muchly, yes.
Just a moment, please.
Well, you're by no means the last people we've told, but as Turmell's closest, we wanted to tell you both.
Would you care for some cracked pepper?
No, thank you. We have nothing for you to crack it on.
Will you crack some of that in my snuff box, please?
I beg your pardon?
Nah, it's all good. Can you come back shortly? Ta. Yous were saying?
You're both here tonight, and we wanted to tell you both.
It's been a long time coming. I asked Elsie to marry me.
And of course I said yes. We're engaged.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Elsie makes me the happiest I've ever been. And I'm not going to let anyone stop me from being happy.
And no one's going to stop me either.
I'm so happy for you guys, really.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, love.
Mate, I'm surprised you didn't tell me you were going to ask her.
I did before the train, don't you remember?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I was trying to tell you for ages, but there was always something going on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That was when all the Grantham and Merelda stuff was going on, wasn't it?
And you're right. I mean, the ring was perfect. Elsie loves it.
Yeah, gosh, I'll have to look at that again, yeah. But well done, mate, honestly. Well done, I'm well chuffed for you.
Thank you, Agnetha.
May I interest you in some wine?
Nah, I think I'll lay off her for a bit. Gosh, I'm struggling to remember any of that. Oh, yeah, and one other thing. A few weeks ago, you might have read a story in the papers about a mad woman beating up some politician in broad daylight in the front of City Hall. Despite what those papers might have suggested, that definitely was not me. There aren't many other black elves in the city, but I had nothing to do with it. I read that the guy who was beating up Lord Grantham was some horrible old bigot who wanted to ban dwarves from the city. Turmell was absolutely furious. It's painful to think of what some stupid law might have done to him and Elsie. Makes me wish I'd hit Grantham harder.
So we were looking at a February wedding. The weather should still be sunny, but it should be a little milder then.
There's this village down south we were looking at going for the honeymoon, by the sea, and a cottage that goes right onto the beach.
And Dad has a farm here just out of town. It's an old hall used for events like this. For the dress, well, traditionally it's kind of a peach color for dwarves, so I think we can put that together with the Josephinian red. We can get something really beautiful.
That does sound beautiful.
The bridesmaids' dresses will be similar, I think. So that'll be you, Rosemary, Dagna, Brianna, and Emily too. Jordan is the best man.
It's funny, he always makes fun of me at work for my red coat. Being in agriculture, he's always in brown, so I think we'll put him in the royal red.
And it won't be too big. Including the two of you, there'll only be about 20 people in attendance.
22 of my parents make it, but who knows with them.
And +1 for you, Charlotte.
If anyone was my +1, it'd be Rosemary, and she's already there, so...
Quite proud of myself. It feels like I'm finally growing up. Like I'm finally doing something with my life. I hope you're proud of me too. Love, and yeah.
The Misadventures of Agnetha Deveaux, written by Royce Pentaghast. Starring Olivia Brodzinski as Agnetha, Marie Butler Cole as Charlotte, Jake T. Hodgetts as Harry, Holly Gregg as Elsie, Jaspreet Singh as Enrod, Matt Harris as Lord Fry, Robbie Bleakley as the waiter, and Royce Pentaghast as Turmell. Theme music, the copyright of Matt Harris. Additional music by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. Produced by Rabbit Dog 008 and Launceston's City Park Radio, 2017.